Welcome to the Serenity Podcast. My name is Beth, and I'm Witty Knitting on Instagram and Ravelry.
And I'm Tracy. I'm Phoenix Fire on Ravelry and Phoenix Fire Knits on Instagram. And we're so glad to be back with you today.
Yeah, after an extra long time.
Yeah, we had stuff happening. Mostly good stuff. I painted my dining room, so that was a chore. Especially if you saw my pictures on Instagram of dog feet on the tarp. Oh, and then Renee did the same thing. She stepped in wet paint and then walked into the living room. So 17-year-old child's no better than the dog when it comes to, I can't say that. She really helped a lot, but it was stressful. You had happy stuff happening. You weren't distressed.
Yeah, there was some happy stuff. So last weekend was Aspen's birthday. So she's 5.
It's hard to believe.
I know. And I went to register her for kindergarten today, like online, like they told me to by the text they sent me and the thing they sent me in the mail. And then I'm typing in and I type in our address and they're like, you're outside our district area. Please re-enter your address or call blah, blah, blah. This is going to be complicated. This was supposed to be like a couple clicks and my kid goes to kindergarten.
Mm-hmm. They lead you to believe when they say re-enter your address that you could just change the address a little bit. Well, let's see if it works on this side of the road. What if I'm now in this city? Yeah, I know that's not how it works, but the address code.
We are close to a county line, and there are like 3 or 4 different school districts that they could go to, but we're trying to sign her up at the district that we're in, so.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were sending her to the district where you teach, and that was what was messing you up. Huh. Yeah, it shouldn't be that complicated.
No, it should not be complicated. And I'm looking at the thing they sent, like, well, this is the address where I live, where you sent me the thing, and it said, anyway, so it was Aspen's birthday. She's 5.
Yay, and school. She gets to go to school.
Yes, and we have her super confused because we have driven by her, what will be her school, and she's like really confused about when kindergarten starts.
Oh.
She's like, so am I still in preschool? Do I still go to your school? Is that just my school? Are you teaching at that school? Like, so we shouldn't have done that. What else has happened? There was one weekend where I was really sick, so that was crummy. Oh, there was one weekend. This was, I think, it doesn't matter when it was. I found out that we are or were sharing our home with a mouse.
Yes, I remember you telling me this.
So I don't like that. And it just makes me feel like everything in our house is like dirty.
Hmm.
And the evidence was found like in a room just across from this room. So I'm like, if you're in my yarn, I'm gonna freak out. But I've been checking and cleaning, and we have traps and poison out because I'm fine with nature mice, but you come into my house,
that's a problem.
You're welcome here.
When I first got married, I was renting out the place that I had lived in before I got married to one of the teachers I work with, and it was okay. It was a trailer. It was a trailer in a field. So field mice would come into the dryer. That's just the dryer vent. That's just what happened. And I had a cat, so he took care of it for me. But she was really upset because it was a mouse, and she got one of the humane traps and then took it to the end of the driveway and released it. And then the next day told me that she had another mouse. I was like, no, Janice, you have the same mouse. You've got to take it further away at the end of the driveway. And so I told her my dad would take care of it, but my dad's way of taking care of the mouse was not the humane way, so she didn't want that. I've learned not to rent people that you know in real life. So that was a mistake.
Yeah, I don't want mice in here, so I have no hard feelings about.
You should get a cat.
Used to have a cat. Actually, I had a dream last night that my cat was here, and
Sure, your cat. I met your cat.
Yeah, don't have a cat. We don't have any pets right now.
Well, you need to get pets.
I know. I want to get a cat, but Matt doesn't want to get a cat.
Well, I didn't want to get a dog, so my family brought home a dog. So you could do the workman way of getting a cat, where you have two really, really cute little kids who come home and say, "Look what we got! Don't you love him?" Yes.
And now he's trying to paint your floor.
Yes. He entertains my classes during remote learning by showing me how boring I am as a teacher and snoring through my lessons.
Rude.
I know. There was one kid in 4th period last semester who'd always write in the chat, "The doggo intensifies." So he got louder and louder.
I love that.
What are you knitting?
Well, I don't have good podcast knitting, but I really want to be knitting. So I'm like, well, I'm probably gonna have to look at it a lot, but I still want to work on it. I'm in the middle of a row, but this is I think it's called Luminaria shawl.
I saw that on Instagram this morning.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's really, because it's really in the middle of a row. So it is by Lindsay Fowler, and she is Larkspur Designs, I think.
Did she comment on your Instagram post?
Yes.
She likes your color choice, and I do too.
Thank you. So this is Stressknits yarn, and the main pink color is Dahlia, and then the other colors were a mini skein set that she had that was like inspired by these Christmas decorations. So they all have color names, like they're all her regular colorways, but I don't know off the top of my head what they all are.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. So it just continues like this, and then I thought I didn't really do, I've been really like letting myself go with this project. Like there are mistakes in here that I've just decided to leave because I didn't want to fix them. And I just kind of in my head thought that I would get through each color twice, but that's not gonna work. So I'm back through, so down here, I'm on this color. So I'll go through here. So I have this much more. And then there's like a really simple, I think there's a little bit of lace in the edge, and I'm just going to use my main color if I have enough.
Well, you should have laminated a spreadsheet.
Well,
I would be sad if
actually you can.
Michael made if the editor made some outtakes of my face each time you start talking about math and repeats, and I would be really sad to see that. I was sure I was doing it again.
I need to watch our past episodes. Like I don't watch it because I lived it for one thing, but also because I'm like, oh, I'm just going to look at myself and be like, you forgot to say this, you didn't say that, you interrupted Tracy 100 times.
That's one of our class rules for remote learning. We're going to interrupt each other because that's the nature of Zoom. So we're going to just get over that. We're not going to, we'll just say, sorry, move on. We're not going to think about it.
Yeah.
It just happens. But yeah, I don't think I don't watch either because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. I apologize to all of you listening right now. It's horrible. It sounds terrible. No. I don't want to hear it. But I don't think he's done anything to the more recent ones, but apparently we do have Easter eggs periodically hidden in the episodes.
I kind of like that.
Like, yeah, eventually I'm sure it'll be my math face. That's my math face. I just did it. Spreadsheet, you say? With numbers?
Squint? Head tilt?
I married a math teacher, so I don't have to do math anymore. And now we're talking about math. And it's all math with Beth and I, because even figuring out when we're recording, there's a time difference. It's like, wait, your 10 or my 10? What what 10 are we talking about here?
Who's 10? So I'll always specify from now on. I should have specified. I don't know why I didn't.
Because it's Sunday morning and who wants to think about math? My other whip has math got to me, but I'll show that a little bit later. My podcast knitting is this handspun sock.
Ooh, it's so pretty.
Let's see. It's got some red in it, so if I can finish it this month, it can be part of the challenge for ZK. Got one. Did I bring it? I did. This is my only bag that goes outside of the house because I tear up bags really bad by stuffing them in things. So this big canvas bag is the only one that goes in my purse or whatever. So it's got my best joy mask in it. My inhaler.
You're so cool.
All the things you need.
I love it.
This thing here so that I can breathe through my mask. I'll tell you what, I got all the junk. Hand sanitizer that smells like unicorns. Now you know. So here's the first one. And because it's hand spun, I didn't have quite as much as Michael likes really long socks. This is for him. It's a long sock.
It's so pretty.
It's gonna run out, so he has a black cuff and a black keyhole. Yes, this is Spartickes. Spartickes Dye Works, I think is her name. Mary Gale. And it was a faux cashmere fiber, which I think means it's 100% brushed nylon or really soft nylon. And I got a bat of 100% cashmere off of Etsy somewhere and spun them both as singles and plied them together to make a very luxurious sock yarn. So at least it's half none.
Extremely soft.
Yeah, it is really soft because the faux cashmere is soft, but it's basically nylon, so it's also strong. So I think that'll be really, hopefully it'll last. If it doesn't, I had fun spinning it. I had fun knitting it. He'll have fun wearing it at least once or twice. Maybe. So while we've been home a lot for the past year, I've noticed that the heels of his socks sometimes like flip around at the top of his foot. I'm thinking maybe I have not been knitting his, first I thought maybe I wasn't knitting the foot long enough, so I added almost about half an inch to the foot of the sock to see if it's going to, both socks, this pair of socks, that would be terrible. I make one sock longer to see what you like best.
Here's the control sock and here's the experimental.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. But now after talking to you last time, because I've been working on these all month, I'm wondering if he just needs a deeper heel, and maybe I should try Bunny Fish's deeper heel when the pattern comes out. She says she's almost got it. And that was so long ago, she probably actually does have it by now. So anyway, that's my experimental hand spun socks are my podcast knitting. And I hope I finish them by the end of February so that I can enter them in the ZK knit along. Everything I'm knitting this month happens to be pink or red by accident.
Yay.
Yeah, well, not 100% by accident. Two things I cast on in 100% pink so that they would count, and then I found out any red or pink works. So now I'm good.
Yeah, I was going to make this anyway, but I'm like, ooh, there's pink in here. Well, this is pink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pink.
So I was like, well, now I have to finish this one this month. And then I started something else that I probably would not have put pink in, but I'm like, well, if I just put this pink in, it's going to count. So, you know me.
We're team players. We really are.
Yeah. I'm a team knitter. At the beginning, I was being very chatty, and now I'm so bad at I don't know how to find an even rhythm with social media. I look at it constantly, but my output, like my participation, I'm either like, oh, I'm going to post 4 things today, and then I'm not going to post anything for the next 4 months. And then, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. A part of it, well, I'm checking Instagram every day, but I'm not posting every day. I repost a lot because it's fun. Especially if it's something ridiculous. Bernie Sanders meme. But yeah, I'm the same way. And I think I have my social media spread out too much. I was on Ravelry all the time back in the day. And then I had to split it with Instagram, and now there's Discord for it. So if you're not one of the Stockinette zombie people, we have the Zombie Knit Apocalypse is a retreat we go to every June. It's how we met, and they've moved their platform over to Discord. It's a gaming platform. So every time I'm on it, my kids see me, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing on Discord? Like, the knitters are on Discord, kids.
Yeah, one of my second graders saw that app on my phone, and he's like, "You're on Discord too?" And I was like,
Hey.
I'm sure he's like, "What is she doing on there?"
Yeah, because the only games I play are those where you have to like find pictures hidden in pictures, and they're like, I don't know if there's social media for that, Mom. Like, that's fine. I don't play enough to worry about it. This is for the knitters. So yeah, the setup of Discord does not work well with my brain. There's too much in too many different places, and I can see that it's organized, but it doesn't feel organized. I'm that person who has to have every single document in Google Drive in a folder because when I open it up, I don't want to see stuff. So yeah, I don't play well.
Well, it's been like, now the challenge for the March and April knit along is twinning. So everyone's posting like, I'm gonna knit this. Does anyone want to be my twin? I'm doing this. And it's hard to follow like who replied to who, and do you have a partner? Do you not?
Yeah.
Somebody in my team made a spreadsheet, and I was like, ooh, I'm all about a spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet with words is good. Spreadsheet with numbers, I start to get cross-eyed. Oh, that's a great idea, but I will not be doing that for Team Airplane. But if anyone wants to do that for Team Airplane, I would love to look at it.
Oh yeah, if you do a copy of the one that exists and erase the names.
And just say, put your own stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're doing, is putting our own.
Okay. I thought they were actually doing this spreadsheet based on what was in the chat.
No, it's add your own.
That makes sense. So if you are Team Airplane, I posted this earlier, but no one has replied yet. As far as I can tell, soon no one's replied yet. I've got some big plans for March and April. I'm going to do a V-neck magpie, or a weekender light, or the Feel the Burn sweater. I have my yarns picked out for that. And I always have vanilla socks, usually Fish Lips Kiss Heel or Afterthought Heel. So if anyone on Team Airplane is looking for a twin, that's my plan. And I've been kind of scrolling through. I haven't seen a lot of people posting stuff that I feel like working on. I'm sure that people are looking at my list going, no.
I can tell you, I am knitting a weekender light, and someone wanted to twin with me and knit like the regular worsted weekender. Mm-hmm. And that was approved because I was like, is that not necessarily the same? So you could find a partner too who's just doing
this weekender. That works.
Yes. Do you want to see my yarn I'm using for mine?
I would love to. While you're getting that, I can tell them the story of my ill-fated weekender. Oh, I thought you had to go get it.
No.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
I like to look at it. Look how pretty it is.
I love lavender loom.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have way too much because these are the 150 gram superwash BFL skeins.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you are going to have a lot.
This is like 1.5.
Yeah, I did a Tia sweater, which is basically like ranunculus without the lace, short sleeved, and I used one skein and had a little bit left over for my blankets. So that's knitted a really loose gauge and short sleeved, but still, those are huge skeins.
Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at those speckles.
Gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, this is lavender loom in the Primrose Park. Oh. Rolled R optional. I don't know why I didn't.
So my weekender lives with our friend Brenda now because I had some skeins of, I can't remember what it was now, green, I can't remember. I think they're out of Maine, and it's a really, really heavy yarn and really nice yarn, really toothy. And I got on D-Stash, and they were short skeins. And of course, no one tells you they're short skeins when you get that little Someone should, but no one told me that they were short skeins when I got them. So I ended up having to do 3/4 length sleeves, and I did a contrast color for the ribbing at the neckline. And it was really cute. It was a really hot sweater, really heavy. And the idea of 3/4 length sleeves on a sweater that I would only need in 10-degree weather, I would probably wear twice a year, seemed ridiculous. So we did a ZK Zoom raffle and Brenda won a sweater. It's like, for you guys, this would probably be a nice spring or fall transitional piece. And it fits her perfectly, so it makes me happy when she wears it on her Zooms.
And I bet she wears it all the time.
I would never wear that. The few times it'd be warm enough to wear that, my wrist would be cold. So I'm glad it got a nice home. I'm sad that my skeins were short, but I'm really glad it made someone else happy. And it was fun to knit. I'll make another fingering weight yarn, and it will get a lot more wear here, and I'll be happy too.
I love the way you look at it. Like, it was fun to spin. It was fun to that's enough.
Yeah. Let's see. I can never answer the question if I'm a process or product knitter, because I do like the process, but also want the product. But then after I've had the product, I'm usually pretty good with saying, no, you can have the product. I want someone to have it.
I'm definitely a product knitter, because I feel like a true process knitter could knit something, unravel it, and knit something else and unravel. You know what I mean? Where it's just
I
like
can't do that.
Doing it for the sake of the feel of it.
And I want to be finished. I know a lot of process knitters can cast on lots of things and work on them now and then and put it down and maybe never finish. I have to finish. If I've started it, it's going to be finished.
Really?
So I might give it away if I'm going to finish it.
You never rip anything out?
Very rarely. Very rarely.
Huh. Oh, speaking of that, that's a nice little transition into this. So, not this Friday that just happened, but the one before, we had an in-service day at work, and I thought, you know what? I've never knit during meetings before, but I can knit a stockinette sock on, these are 10-inch circulars, and like pay attention and listen and whatever. So I was knitting this beautiful sock.
This beautiful.
And this was supposed to be part of your, well, I got one for me, one for you. This was supposed to be part of your, yep, there it is, Christmas thing. It's a 50-gram ball of Meet Me Under the Mistletoe from Nomadic Yarns. Look how pretty it is.
Gorgeous. I love that green.
Look how huge it is.
It is pretty large.
How did I not notice that? I was paying attention to the speaker. That's what I was doing. So these are my 10-inch Addy. I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but they're the ones that have the short tip, the 2-inch tip on one end and the 3-inch on the other. And they're size 0s. And this sock is enormous.
Is your gauge looser on a 10-inch circular?
I guess so. So I was extremely disappointed because I love the feel of, I love these. Like, I love knitting on these, and they don't make them any smaller than this. And on 9-inch needles, like, I use them and they're okay, but I end up like putting my pinky under the needle. Like, that's just how it works for me. And then I kind of get like my hand cramps up a little.
I was like, do I do that? No, I don't do that.
Because here, like, there's enough that I can
Well,
hold
I did it.
But you're
Fractal knitting. Oh, I hope nobody watches me do this. It's in my lap usually. Like, now I realize I look horrible when I'm gonna get arthritis.
So, okay, so then I found a new thing that it was supposed to be here, but it's not. So I found that there are Haya needles. I think they're ChiaoGoo. Is that how you say that? I think they're ChiaoGoo needles that are interchangeable 9-inch needles. So
What?
they have these. What's that?
What sizes? I've never seen this.
So they have them, I think they were called something kind of a combo pack. So you buy, and they're a little more expensive, but you get 2-inch tips and 3-inch tips and a cord that makes it 9 inches and a cord that makes 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
All in like one set for one size of needle. And they go down to like 000.
Whoa.
So I can use a 2-inch tip and a 3-inch tip on the thing that's supposed to be for 9 inches and still have my 10-inch needles that I really like in 00 and 000, so that maybe I can have a sock that isn't like, I could just make this a mug cozy instead. I mean, that's how big it is.
That reminds me. I'll show you afterwards. Have an idea for something that you could do with that if you don't want to rip it out. But remind me. And also, Grandma,
I'll take the needle off, so
those needles in the show notes, please.
What was that?
I was speaking to Grandma Cheryl. She needs to tell you to link those needles in the show notes because I've never seen these before.
I hadn't either.
On the idea of that. I do have a lot of 9-inch circular.
Mug hat. Look at that.
All right, that's bigger than what I thought you could use it for.
This is not a small mug either. This is a. I just got it. It's so fun. Look at it.
I love it.
Attack. Attack. Protect.
Needs a nap on there too.
I love
it when he sleeps.
So that happened. I was so disappointed because I started the stripes during the first meeting, and this was just one day, one in-service day.
How many stitches is that?
Oh my gosh, I knit half a sock. 64.
Oh wow, that's still that big.
I know.
It's
It's
60. Oh, that'd make a beautiful sweater.
Isn't it?
Sock arms, and then you could use that as she's a sponsored designer. You had to buy another skein of yarn.
I'd have to buy probably 2.
Well, you can make it.
Things.
It's 40 degrees. Get those guns out. That would be pretty though.
But I just wanted to talk about that. So do 9-inch circulars for you loosen your gauge? Or your tension, I should say, maybe?
I think I knit tighter on the 9-inch circulars than I do on DPNs.
Really? But you're a thrower, so that makes sense, right?
Yeah, which also explains my pterodactyl grip. So yeah, I don't know. I know I had one pair of socks that I was not enjoying on the 9-inch circs, and I moved them over to DPNs, and there was a noticeable difference in the sock. It was like almost comical. It looked like I had done some kind of calf increases, and I had not. So that's the only reason I know. Gosh, I'm sorry about your sock. My heart breaks.
And I guess I can look at it as like the process knitter piece of like, it was a more enjoyable time than if I had just been sitting there.
I was gonna say, or it could be a hat for Ronan, but he has a pretty big head for a baby.
Yeah, he has a huge head. I haven't sent you a picture, but you sent that like white and blue handspun hat for him. Do you remember that?
It's hobbledehoy.
And it's beautiful, and he wears it every single day.
Yay!
And I love it.
Bigger than I thought it was going to, so I'm glad.
Well, it's a little bit big, so I just flip up the ribbing so it looks like a little brim. Oh, it's so cute.
You never know with handspun, and I don't do gauge swatches, so I was knitting this baby hat, and I'm looking at it going, I could wear this. I'll grow into it. Just put it in the mail. That's my processing. Somebody can wear it. Put it on his
picking up these needles because I just want to be able to tell you. I cannot find the email.
While we're talking about hats and she's checking her needles, I did finish a hat. And I'm so happy with it.
Ooh.
Cute.
Very cute.
I remember saying on the last podcast, I thought we could go ahead and cast on for the projects for ZK, but I wasn't sure, so it wouldn't bother me if I had to rip it out because I was pretty sure I didn't cast on enough stitches. And I got all the ribbing done. I'm still thinking, it was okay to cast on. So I didn't have to rip it out. I'm thinking I'm making a mistake. I really should rip this out because it's going to be it looks like a baby hat. It looks like a small child's hat. And then I changed over to the pattern, and yeah, it's fine. I'm so glad.
It looks good.
I'm so glad because it fits perfectly. Look at that. Yeah. I don't even think I have one that's like beanie size. Usually I do a slouchy. Love it.
That's very cute.
Love it. Still need a haircut. 3 weeks ago, I was telling you I was going to shave my head because I need a haircut. Friday, getting a haircut Friday. So yeah, I'm really glad I'm glad I cast on too small. I'm glad I didn't rip it out because it turned out to be for the best. And I made sure I wrote down in my project page, this is the third hat I've made in this pattern, maybe fourth, because I really love it. It's Violet Waffles. It's a free pattern. I can't remember the designer, but I'll put it in the show notes. But absolutely love it. And now this finally is the first hat that really fits. The others have been way too big. So yay.
What weight yarn did you say?
This has been in 3 projects. This was a skein of yarn I got at Loop London back when travel was a thing in 2019. And it was the snowflake yoke and my Ingles cardigan, no, Ingles sweater, it's a pullover. And then it was this project, and the rest of it went into my scrappy DK sweater that I'll show in a little bit. So it was a much used skein of yarn.
Nice. Okay, I found it. So these go from size US 000, which is 1.5 millimeter, up through US 8, which is 5 millimeter. And there's the sizes 000 through 3 come with the red mini cables, but the 4 through 8 come with these blue X-Flex, like extra flexible.
Never heard of it.
Cables. Oops.
I'm intrigued. The red cables are my favorite. That's what I always use for my socks.
So it looks like this. I got them from Jimmy Bean's Wool because I think that's just where I found them. So they're $23, which is like a little on the expensive side, but
23 per set.
Per set.
For the 2 needle tips in the cord.
So you're getting 2 needle tips, 2 sets of tips, and 2 cords.
You get 2 of the 3-inch and 2 of the 2-inch tips, or 1 set of 2 tips.
Oh, sorry. So there's a set of little ones and a set of big ones.
Okay.
Or a set of 2 and a set of 3.
Hmm.
So, you know, instead of like purchasing one, try it out and see if I like it, I got every size that I might need for sock knitting. No, so I got 00s, 000s, and then I got one of the blue cords because I wanted to see if they would fit them.
And they don't sell it as one big interchangeable set yet?
I didn't see that as an option. They might have one that would have just one size or the other. If you're a sock, sorry, what?
I'm looking forward to review on that in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because if you're a sock knitter, and if you like to knit sleeves or even hats on smaller needles, I mean, you kind of have everything you need for any kind of smaller circumference knitting, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And you can make these 10-inch needles, which is what I want, but in I think I'm going to need 000, and I don't even know if that's going to do it.
That's crazy. We'll find out. Stay tuned, people. To the saga of Beth's.
Man, that's big. Even, and it's not like I don't want to go less than 64 stitches. That doesn't even make sense.
My socks are 60 stitches.
Yeah, but you have teensy little cute feet, and I have like.
But if that's the gauge you're getting on a 0, you might have to do 60 stitches.
And I guess that wouldn't be a big deal. I don't know why I'm doing these weird things.
Oh, so
also your sweater that you're wearing.
yeah, speaking of finished things, I finished my hat and the Just Float pullover by Stephanie Lotven.
Oh my gosh. You're getting all the bonuses.
Because there's red. And I always planned to make it out of this yarn, so it's been sitting in my stash for years. The neck is a bit big. I knit a large because according to the pattern, I had enough yarn to knit a large. And I thought, well, I might as well use up all my yarn because I like big, oversized yoke sweaters anyway. I'm not going to stand up, but I might sit up taller. We'll see. Yeah, so it's roomy, but it's not oversized. But I was running out of yarn. And this is a discontinued Knit Picks gloss, the main color. So I was getting really stressed. So I tried it on at one point and I asked the family, so should I make the sleeves a little shorter and do a cropped body, or make the body long enough? I mean, make the sleeves a little bit shorter and do a full length body, or crop it and do full length sleeves. And their consensus was you should make full length sleeves and a full length body, which was not helpful, not in the least. So I just did the sleeves. I stopped knitting on the body. I did the sleeves. When I tried it on, they were going to be right at wrist, and then I just used the rest of the yarn to knit the body. But this gloss fingering is silken wool, so it blocked beautifully. And I have a it worked out. I have full length sleeves, 2 full length sleeves, full length body.
Yay!
But I was planning on going back and doing a single crochet to tighten up the neckline because it's really wide. And I had probably 6 inches of yarn left after I bounced off. So I'll have to live with the boat neck. That's fine. I can live with the boat neck.
Could you do something with your red?
I thought about it, but I don't know. I like the blue up here. I do like the blue, but I don't know.
If you went stash diving, I bet you have something in that color.
Not exactly this color, but probably something similar. Got a self-striping that has one stripe that's about this color. Maybe. The last time I did a single crochet to tighten up a neckline, it didn't work out so well because I thought I knew how to single crochet, but come to find out I knew how to slip stitch. So
oh no.
Super tight now. So it's fine. It's fine. So I probably won't go back and fix it, even though now I can. I was like, I don't know, people keep saying I should do this. That was really tight. I didn't know what I was doing. But thanks to Connie Crochet Cetra, I now know how to single crochet, and I know better to slip stitch a whole neckline. So it's half the size it was before. But someday I'll be able to wear this in public with my, oh, you can't see them very well. I have earrings that are made to look like this wrought iron gate in Charleston, and it matches the motif perfectly.
I love that.
I don't like to wear earrings with my mask. It gets tangled. Do you wear jewelry? I don't see you in jewelry very much.
I'm wearing earrings today.
They're beautiful.
Do you want to know why I'm wearing earrings?
Mm-hmm.
Because I looked in the mirror this morning and I thought, you know what? I have short hair. I should wear earrings, because I don't know, that would be cool. And then I thought, I wonder when the last time I wore earrings was, and I wonder if I still have pierced ears. I didn't. I mean, the holes were there, like this one was fine, but this one, I had to do a little work and a little pain. So now I'm like, well, I'm wearing earrings for a while, so that doesn't close up again. I didn't even think about a mask, though. That's going to be really annoying.
Yeah, they get tangled whenever I try to wear earrings and a mask. I have a lot of earrings, though. I've got 3, 4, 5 in one ear.
Oh my gosh.
And 3 on the other. Yeah. So I was a 90s kid. Earrings are punk rock. What else are you working on? Is that your only... Wait, I know you're working on your blanket.
I had been, so I've really just been going where the wind takes me with, like, oh my gosh, I really am excited about this pattern and I feel like casting on, I'm going to do it. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about this shawl and now I feel like the end is in sight, so I'm going to work on that. So I've just been like, more than ever, just letting my knitting be really fun and just doing whatever I want. So I've been knitting really hard on this because I did get to that point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I could finish this in the next couple of days. And then I can enter it for the ZK thing. And I feel like I will wear this a ton because this is a lot more subdued than things that I typically knit. Because I'm finding that things that I typically knit, like this, for example.
I was there when you finished that.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal because we see each other for less than a week, once a year, most years.
I usually knit things like this that are like, oh my gosh, so fun. Look at the speckles, look at the colors, pow, pow, pow. But then they don't always go with the things that I wear. So I'm trying to put a little more thought into the clothes that I buy, the accessories I knit, the sweaters I knit, whatever, so that it all goes better. Anyway.
What the fade, right?
What's that?
I was going to ask, is what the fade?
This is What the Fade, yes, which is an Andrea Mowry pattern. So it's the one that has, I think it was a mystery knit along originally.
I think you're right.
But I didn't do it at that time. I did it much later because I like all the trendy stuff, but I'm just always like 2 years behind in just my ability to get my poopity group. So this is it. I love it. I love picking out colors for fades. It's so much fun. So it actually really goes well with Aspen's blanket.
It does.
Kind of exactly. So that's kind of cool. So I did have a little chunk of time where this was the only thing that I wanted to work on. And it's definitely just a throw blanket. It's not extremely wide, but it'll be like a fun little couch snuggle blanket. So this is, let's see, I think I'm in, so she was born February 14th. So I think I am in April now. I think I just started April. I mean, I could count and figure it out, but nobody cares, so.
You gotta have to make that face when you start throwing numbers around.
Yeah.
I make with numbers. Nobody else is there right now.
So I worked on that. I'm working on this, and I have one more. Do you have any more?
I do. Amanda Lammy Toes wants to know if you're making a blanket for all 3 kids.
She wants to know that?
She does.
Did I miss it? I've been, see, this is probably why I stopped podcasting the first time, because people take the time to comment and participate, and then I never write back and I feel like a jerk.
It was a recent question. You're good.
Okay. So yes, that is my plan, which I'm really excited about because I look at my single skeins of sock yarn and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of a Lulu color. That's kind of a Lulu color. So yes, that is, and that's why they're throw blankets, because I don't want to burn out.
I understand.
But I'm really enjoying how the colors are working so far.
Definitely save Ronan's to last. If he's like my boy, his colors will change. Because whole light, anything that looked like Thomas the Train, and now that's not his. No,
Not into Thomas the Train anymore at 15.
he's not into Thomas the Train. 14, almost 15. Yeah, not anymore. It's sad. He had it says room was blue and red because he picked those colors out when he was 3 or 4, and that was everything he loved in life. And now his room looks like something from a beach house because it's all like neutrals and light blues, and it's gorgeous, but it changed completely. And Renna still likes a lot of the same colors she liked when she was younger, so you're good with the girls.
Well, even just what's in my stash, I'm like, I don't have much that doesn't have a pink speckle in it. Not that he can't enjoy pink. In fact, right now, his favorite thing in the world is a little pink unicorn stuffed animal that has like, you know how the little kid clothes right now are the flippy sequins that are like one color one way and one color the other way?
I can't understand how they are on clothes.
What?
I don't see how they do that on clothes. How do you wash that? Little kids are so dirty.
I wash it like I wash everything else.
Yeah. You don't have sequins on your dryer? Not
yet.
When Renna was little, it was like furry clothes were popular, and my lint trap was always, it looked like I washed a Muppet constantly. So here is I have one more, but I haven't done much on it. But my last work in progress in this beautiful bag. It's a tote.
For a second, I was like, I love that bag. Where'd you get it? I made that.
That's the thing. So last week you're like, if your project bags stress you out, should I not make you some more? I'm like, these are the only ones I use. And they're like the bags that if I saw them in a shop, I would say, that's my bag. That was for me. So yeah, you get me. Somebody said, to go home. Seriously, while I'm recording. So this is my scrappy, the big giant bag of DK yarn that I showed you guys a month ago, 2 months ago. This is it. Let me make sure it's the right side. That's the right side. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous together? Oh, what a tangled mess.
It's so cohesive.
I know. It's hard to believe. Well, a lot of them went into sweaters together already, so I knew they'd work together. But they even turned out better than I thought. But it's all, I think I mentioned this the last time I recorded because I got through the yoke to divide for the sleeves last time. But so I started off by just doing the collar and the short rows in the back. And then I was almost out of the first mini. So I started to fade in the next color, but it was a really small one. So by the time I faded it in, it was almost out. And then I realized, well, I should just do this the whole sweater. So the whole sweater was helical knit down to the last color. So I think this is 6 or 7 different skeins of yarn already. And then I think about here, I ran out of the last mini. So this is just one color from the bottom for the ribbing. So yeah, I haven't decided if I want it inside out or right side out yet because it looks gorgeous on both sides. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'm working down the first sleeve.
Will the sleeves match?
Yes. So this is close to math as I get. I divided my last 2 minis into in half. So this is all that I have left of one color. And this is what I have left of the other color. And then I have this on the current sleeve. And I broke into 1 full size skein of Unwind Yarn Company. This is the Bonnie Wee Thing color that I had been hoarding forever because I love it so much. And you know, with math, I really thought that I would be working in the main, the full skein at the bottom. I really thought I would, and I would just finish it up with that and have maybe half of it left with the sleeves. But I didn't even start using this yarn until I got to the sleeves. So I probably have enough for another hat. It's all said and done. So this is not running out as fast as I thought. Which makes sense because I was thinking I put more than 25 grams into each sleeve here, and it was fingering weight. I don't know enough of DK to be able to estimate, I guess, but I really thought it was going to be shorter than this, and the sleeves would have to be shorter. And now I'm looking at what I have left of this. So I wanted to use to fade this and this together for the rest of the sleeve, and when this runs out, just do the ribbing in the big skein. And I'm like, well, am I going to have orangutan sleeves? Or is this going to fit? We'll find out. I'm just going to knit it till I get there and see what happens.
Just see what happens. I'm
really loving it. It's that project where you just don't want to put it down because it's, you just want to see what's going to happen next. What's going to happen when I start the next color? What's going to happen when I start the next color? And it's so soft. So it's got Malabrigo and 2 colors of Suburban Stitcher and 2 colors of 716 Knit, 2 colors of Unwind Yarn Company, and 1 from Rock and String Creations. So that's gonna be almost all of my DK scraps.
That's amazing.
That's nice. Feels really good. So they took up so much space in my scrap bin. And if you watched my Vlogmas on Scrappy Sunday, I went through the crazy, which is my scraps. So after I knit it, it goes into this bin, and then it goes into this blanket, and after that, it gets weighed. 10 grams goes to Beth's advent. If it's more than that, it gets set aside for someone else's advent. If it's less, it goes into this blanket. It's, yeah.
There's a process.
There's definitely a process.
Okay, before you put it away, can we see the other side?
The inside?
Yeah, or yeah, the inside. That's what I mean. Oh.
Pretty.
Oh.
No, I can't decide which one I like best.
Neither.
And if I show my family, I like both sides. Just wear it both ways. Oh no.
That is not allowed.
That's not how I weave it ends. So let's see if I'm at a good spot to show the so they're asking in a group about the helical knitting. And so what I do is I will knit around with one color. And then when I get to where I left my yarn before, I'm not in a good place for it, but I'll pull my yarn through to the outside so I can bind it really easily and then slip 3 stitches and start knitting with the next color. And then when I get 3 stitches from where this is, I'll slip those 3 stitches and then grab this color and knit around. So that's how I keep up there. And I've got always mark my decreases. So there's lots of weird stuff happening there, but yes, I'm loving this. It's getting most of my time because I just want to see how it's going to look. It's exciting. And then I had one more sock that I cast on because I wanted to put something Valentine-y in my awesome Valentine bag.
And it already has a strap.
it has hearts and hedgehogs.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
It was perfect. And so, you know, you don't get a lot of surprise Valentine's Day gifts when you're an adult. So I was so excited. Beth told me she had mailed me some stitch markers. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, there's a giant box out here. And I'm like, well, that's not for me because I'm just getting stitch markers. No, it was my giant box. So I was surprised with this bag and the Bernie stitch markers that I was expecting. Isn't he adorable? And then these teared me up. I'm not gonna lie about it. These are Valentine's Day and Star Wars themed. So looking good. That's so much fun to say. And then there's a Yoda one. Love you to the Death Star and back. I'm Wookiee, lucky to have you. Oh my goodness, very Wookiee to have you. And so then I was wondering why these were in cellophane and the other pack wasn't until I saw my zipper pull. Oh, I can't make it. I don't think you can see her. That's Princess Leia, and it says you're the bounce in my buns.
That one's my favorite. That's why it went on the bag.
Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard. I was about to cry. And then there was Mandalorian yarn.
That's what started it all because I was like, I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm buying that for Tracy and I'm gonna put together something for her birthday and send that to her. And then I was like, I can't wait. Like I want her to have it right now.
I have a cupboard in my house that is the Beth cupboard where your stuff goes. You need a cupboard so you can put it away. I think about it.
Well, actually, I don't know if I told you this last time because I'd already been doing this, but I have a little box, like a little photo storage size box that all of your presents go into, like all the little things, and you're sitting on top of it right now. Like that's what I set my laptop on for our podcast. So there is a box.
And then, so for the 24 days of cheer Advent swap, and I usually will send something to Brenda. They have a big project bag, and that goes next to the cheer. But they have their whole cupboard. I cast on these socks. They're called Lots of Love, and I don't know if you're old enough for this, Beth, but pom poms on the back of footy socks were a big deal in my childhood. Was that a thing when you were young?
I mean, I've seen that, but no, I don't think it was really.
Oh, that was the thing. That was the thing. And I was sad because I couldn't wear them with my roller skates because they rubbed it on the back of my foot, but that was the 80s. So I saw these and loved them, but I'm having mixed feelings now that I'm knitting them. And I'm going to throw out a challenge to our friend Bunnyfish because I think she could make this easier. I don't want to hurt the designer's feelings, but I think the Bunnyfish can make this an easier pattern. But this was called Lots of Love. I got it in the it'd been in my wish list for a while, and she was one of the designers in the designer gift along this year, so I snatched them up for that. But you knit half a heart, and then you knit half a heart, and then you combine them and you knit down the heart, and then you cast on and knit a certain number of rows in stockinette, and then you start putting in the heart stitches, and you decrease across the heart as you're knitting the cuff. And then
this is time for the math face.
Yeah, that's the math face. And then so you're decreasing down the heart while you're knitting the cuff. And then I should have read ahead. This was my fault. And then it says now fold it and pick up for a turn hem. It's like, well, why didn't I just cast on provisionally? Because this is going to be a pain. And then having to work around these little pointy decreases, it just it made my head hurt. But I finally got through it. And then you have to carry the yarn across the back of the heart.
Oh.
So inside of your sock, there are these floats. And I wasn't loving that either. So I knit a separate heart and then I sewed it down. So I've got a puffy heart. And I like that better. But I remember doing the Bunnyfish had a mystery knit along at the beginning of the pandemic. And we made a yarn cozy, and it was in Tarja in the Round, which I had never done before. But she described it in a way that you just follow directions, and it was fine. It was easy. Not something I can wrap my head around to do on my own, but following her pattern, it made sense. I was able to do it. So I feel like there's got to be some way to knit this back and forth and decrease as you're knitting back and forth and not have to carry the yarn across the heart. So anyway, I just thought that was, hold on to this. I'm like, I see what she's doing, but I think Heather could do this better. I think she would have a better idea for the same execution. But it works. Either way, I got a sock with a puppy heart. And it's adorable, and it'd be a really cute Valentine's Day sock. And I have a really cute heart stitch marker that's a waffle that I got from Trish. I forgot the name of her business. I don't think she's selling these anymore. Do you remember Trish? She was selling the stitch markers in Java Jenny's booth at ZK a couple years ago. I can't remember. I still follow her on Instagram. I haven't seen anything about stitch markers in a while, so I think that she's not doing that. But now I can change everything over to my new stitch markers now that I've shown you all. And I'm going to give Renna a Bernie because Renna has been knitting a blanket. It's her stress relief during remote learning. She knits stockinette strips while she's in class, and then she's been sewing them together recently and making a blanket. And so I asked her, would she like a Bernie to put on her blanket because she's a card-carrying member of the Green Party. And she said, I don't really use that. What do you use these for? So we just kind of put it on your knitting, and then you knit a while and you see how much you got done since last time you checked. And she said, oh, I use a binder clip for that. Yeah. The cobbler's children have no shoes. The knitter's child uses a binder clip for a stitch marker. So
that's funny.
Yeah, she's getting a Barney after this.
When I ordered those, I feel like the listing only had like one of the mitten and then one of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought when I was ordering 2 sets that I was ordering a total of 4 stitch markers.
There's a lot.
So when they arrived, I was like, oh my gosh, jackpot. I just got like 10 free stitch markers compared to what I thought.
Grandma Cher was asking in the comments where these were from last time that you showed them. So if you haven't been able to get one, Grandma Cher, let me know and I can send you a stitch marker. We have plenty.
I need to start reading.
Blessed. We are
blessed.
blessed.
Replying to the comments.
Oh, I have one more new thing. I won another prize.
What?
Oh, my mojo's back. I used to win prizes all the time, and then I have not won anything. I've had a drought for a couple of years.
But you also knit everything.
Well, this one was easy because it was the ocean make-along, and you had to knit something either with an ocean-inspired stitch motif or color. And, you know, I almost only knit blue and green yarn, so this was a really easy knit-along. And then I won some yarn in my colors.
Ooh.
It's from Twink Knits. It doesn't have a name, it just says it's from Twink Knits. But this was from the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast. Have you ever seen that? Mm-mm. She is in England, and I feel like we'd really get along. We're about the same age. We have a very similar sense of humor. Her name's Leslie, and she's hilarious and has a very dry sense of humor. And so yeah, she did the ocean make along, and that was my prize for a sweater that I knit in water green. I was really excited. This is gonna be some socks eventually. Not quite enough yarn. Highly recommend it. She's really funny. I was watching her the other day. I probably shouldn't tell this story on the internet. I'm gonna tell the story on the internet anyway. She had a cup of tea and she said something how she liked my tea like I like my men. And then she made a face and said, milky white and tepid. I had only heard that phrase once before, and it was back when I used to wait tables in high school, and a man said, asked if he would if he needed cream or sugar for his coffee, and he told me he liked his coffee like he liked his women. And I looked at him for a second. I was 17, and I was like, strong and black. That's not what he meant. But what else could it have meant? He was a little offended. It's like, how am I supposed to know in 1989 that you don't like strong black women? I do. I think they're awesome. He meant sweet, and I should have guessed, and that he was a man of a certain age, eating by himself at a restaurant.
I definitely thought strong and black.
See, it makes sense. No, he liked his coffee sweet. But that's the only time I've ever heard that phrase. And then when she said it, it took me right back to when I was waiting that table, like, and trying to wrap my head around that colloquialism that I had not heard before. Oh, I get it. I did not get it.
I don't realize our age difference until you say things about like waiting tables in 1989, the year of my birth.
Probably 91. I don't know, but still, yeah, it was a long time ago.
I do have one more new project, and as I was knitting, I heard a clink, and my stitch marker hit the floor. And I'm like, did it break? It must have fallen off. Isn't it pretty? It's a Hello Lavender.
Ooh.
Stitch marker. Have you seen her stitch markers before?
Not. It's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, she's kind of a big deal. You should check her out. Her updates sell out very quickly because she makes these beautiful things. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. So I have a new project in a Shop Knitting Nelly project. Yay. This one was from the Farmer's Daughter. They've been doing like a lot of like kits and like collections. So this was part of the first one, which was Wood and Smoke, I think it was called. So you could get like this, and then there were different kits, and there was a little booklet. So I got this and the booklet, and I don't remember what else. I think something came with the bag. Like it wasn't, I just wanted the bag. But some of other stuff came with it.
Been there. I've been there.
Yes. So I am actually test knitting. Remember last time how I was like, I can't follow rules right now, so I can't commit to a test knit. Well, on this day, my whim was to apply for this test knit. So this is for the DK Mountain Mama socks. I don't know if they have a different name. So her pattern only has you using 2 colors, but I wanted to make this have some pink in it.
Well, yeah, and you can't follow directions right now, like you said.
I asked for permission first. I'm like, so are you okay if I use 3 colors? So this is more along the lines of her original, like having 3 different colors. Mm-hmm. So these are DK socks. And I used a speckle on speckle, so the mountainy part is kind of hard to see, which now looking back, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I also kind of love it. So these are some leftovers. These 2 are from my Soldatna sweater. So these are Suburban Stitcher.
And my scrappy sweater.
This one is?
Yep.
This one, I think I said this wrong the one time. This is Spanish moss. And I think I said it was something else.
Yeah. I do have Spanish moss, but I think I have that in fingering weight.
And this is Curry, I think.
I have almost a full skein of that, and it's been in 2 sweaters.
This I have a lot of, well, and now I'm like, am I going to have enough for this? I'm not sure. And I'm knitting these on 9-inch.
I have more if you need it.
Circulars. Well, hey, that's perfect. And then I have some 716 in, what is this colorway called?
I know what it looks like, but I don't want to say on the internet in case I'm wrong, because it's a dirty name.
Mm-hmm.
It is a dirty name?
I think so.
All right, well, you know, censor your little ones, because I want to tell you. It's called
Thing grabs back. Kitty cat grabs back. But not kitty cat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I already said it. Sorry.
It's okay, we were talking at the same time, so it'll probably just sound like
Garble grabs back.
which I love everything about this, including the name. So yeah, this has to be finished by March 5th, just one sock, which is not going to be a problem. And the pattern is already like, it already looks like a finished pattern, so I doubt there's much that she'll have to change. And there are 4 sizes. I'm testing the 3rd size, which is like a, I don't know, large.
Have you tried it on since you had trouble with the fingering weight one?
With the needles? Oh, with the pattern.
Weight size pattern, yeah.
Well, that's part of her purpose in making this version, is that it does not have the super long floats.
Oh, okay.
So the most you go, I believe, is 7 stitches, which is pretty.
Sense on each one. Yeah.
So it's definitely. I think it's got to be right. Isn't it pretty?
I love it. That reminds me, in case if you're on Team Airplane, I have that pattern and this fingering weight that also could be talked into this month. It's at the top of my queue. I just haven't figured out what colors I want to use yet. Because living in North Carolina, I'm 3 hours out of Asheville, and that's where Highland Brewing Company is, and they have a beer bottle that has that same kind of jaggedy mountain thing. I'm like, do I want to make socks look like a beer bottle, or do I want to go with something else? I don't know.
See, you could do DK ones that would be super quick, and then they could be like your cozy sitting around drinking beer in your house socks.
True. And we're going to the mountains this year for vacation again, so I could sit in the mountain house and drink a beer on the porch with my DK socks on. That would work. So the last time we went to the mountains on vacation, the kids always laugh about this because it's so hot here in the summer, and I woke up one morning and it was 52 degrees outside in the summer at this mountain house. And I went and woke everybody in the house up, like, it feels cold. Grab your sweatshirt, let's sit outside. I was so excited I got to wear my sweatshirt in July.
Oh, I love that.
That would be awesome. And we went to the beach again last year because we felt we could social distance pretty well there. It's down the deck most of the time, but back to the mountains. Ren and I prefer the mountains. Holt likes the beach.
I should probably go because I hear a screaming baby, and I'm like, oh, the screaming hasn't stopped, which means Matt can't, whatever he's trying to do something else also.
Okay.
So
that's a good time to say we'll see you in 2 weeks.
abrupt. Can you hear him?
I can't tell. Birds are loud at my house.
Okay. Hopefully you hear the birds and not.
Hopefully. All right, everybody. Have a good 2 weeks. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Can subscribe. Yay, subscribe. Did you hold the button?